Well, let's bring in, to tell you what happened to your husband, I want to bring in a malpractice lawyer representing 7 families suing the pharmaceutical company, Stephanie Grana. Stephanie, without getting too scientific, basically what was being injected to Richard, Phyllis's late husband, was medicine laced with bacteria.
That's correct, Donny.
And how can something, you believe you're going into a hospital, how can that possibly happen?
Unfortunately, it just did, and the surgeon at Mary Washington, Dr. Armitage, was not aware of that. Cardioplegia is a substance that is used every day across the country in bypass surgeries, and it is typically made at outside pharmacies, and he knew nothing about it at the time, and it's used to perfuse the heart. It actually paralyzes the heart and stops the heart from beating, but the heart is actually bathing in the substance. So unfortunately, in Phyllis's case, when her husband had the surgery, the solution was filled with something called gram-negative rods, or a bacteria that should not be there.
Now, Stephanie, the doctor realized that he had lost 4 patients and said, you know what, this is something very wrong here. And this is an example of a doctor bravely coming forward, instead of trying to cover things up, saying, you know what, we need to do an investigation here, and basically found the lab that was making this stuff was not up to snuff as far as regulations. And because what people don't understand, these kind of cocktails, these medicines at hospitals and off facilities are mixed all the time, that so much of what goes into us is just not the pure medication.
That's correct. That's correct. And Dr. Armitage is to be commended because he identified that he had patients that were dying or getting sick. He, on his own investigation, recognized a cause which he believed to be was contaminated cardioplegia, and then he did what was unusual, which is he stopped the surgeries. He actually closed the cardiac unit down at Mary Washington Hospital, and he called for help. He called in the local Virginia CDC, and then they in turn called in the FDA, and they did some testing at that hospital, and they determined in their findings that contaminated cardioplegia was the cause of these instances.
Well, Stephanie, I know you're representing 7 families in this, and I want, Phyllis, before I come back to you, I just want to read a statement from Mary Washington Hospital. Review of the surgical procedure and preparation did not find any abnormal practices or evidence of contamination. Rather, contaminated cardioplegia solution produced by an outside pharmacy was determined to be the most likely source of the cluster of patient complications observed at Mary Washington Hospital. Phyllis Mulholland, may God be with you. I'm so sorry. I really appreciate you sharing your story. And Stephanie Grana, thank you for being with us. More Big Idea.